welcome to the God is a Geek podcast. My name's Adam Cook. I've had 3 pints, pork and some potato, and I'm fucking ready. Chris White, how are you?
Hello. Wow, what an intro.
You all seem surprised, like that wasn't really well rehearsed. You're all right. Chris, you're good. You're good, man, yeah?
I'm good, man, yeah, I am.
Good. Welcoming back this week, Adam Carroll.
I'm back. Not full of pork. Not full of pork.
Yeah, but you've bothered to turn up this week, which is always nice.
I know.
You're good though, mate. You're okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
And of course, Gary Bailey's here with us as well. You may have heard his voice. Gaz, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Everyone's good. This is great. This is a good start because I want to talk about the past. Is that all right with everyone?
Fucking yeah.
I mean, we're just literally kicking straight into it here. No messing around. We're just getting on with it. Just kind of like, do you know that song by Guns N' Roses, Paradise City? Bass, snare, bass, snare.
I think I've
Take
heard
me down to the... Yeah. I can't think of a better opening for a game. And if it were possible to monetize the podcast still in a manner that allowed Paradise City to be used as the intro music, I think I'd do it. Burnout Paradise Remastered, chaps. Now, I need to get a quick sort of, I don't know, show of hands as to who is excited about this or interested in playing it. I know I am, but you guys?
Very.
Yeah.
What? The driving expert is...
Yeah. I could never get into it. It's like not a bad game, but I don't know, by the time it came out, I'd played so much of like Burnout 3 in particular. And
you're one of these, are you? One of these. Go on. All right.
No, I just didn't really get into it like everyone else did. But I'd still play it.
So it's difficult because obviously I don't know what too much to say about this because like I think the biggest compliment I can give to the remaster is, do you know how you play a game that's been remastered and you're like, this looks and feels exactly as I remember it, and then you may boot up the original and go, oh, hang on, no, they've done some work here. This looks really good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what this is. Like, you play it and it feels like just how I remember it.
Yeah.
But it's sort of in your mind's eye, it looks how it should look.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a real high compliment. Like, it's still, everything's present. Like I mentioned a few, maybe months ago now at this point, it would have been weeks when I hoped that they'd keep the camera stuff. That's still there. And it's just totally integrated smoothly. Like, if you've got PSVR set up, which I have, the camera's there. It just is there. There's no big deal made about it. You know, the soundtrack's intact. I do believe that if you've got Kinect, I mean, why you would have Kinect set up still, but if you have got it set up still, that camera does the same. The thing about Burnout Paradise that's interesting to me is that it still plays incredibly well, and it still actually captures a sense of speed that may actually be lost in a lot of racing games. Like, it is a fast game.
Yeah.
And now it's running like the sort of PC version, so this is running 4K up-resed and obviously and like 60 frames, and it's like shit off a shovel. This game's fast. But being also that it's got all the DLC and everything included, it also means you kind of have some cars available to you that you shouldn't really have at the start of the game. So you've got, really fast cars before you've got used to the handling mechanic. You know what I mean? So it's worth mentioning. Maybe you might want to think about trying to play through it without doing that. It highlights a little bit how game development's gone, because in a world where Forza Horizon is as amazing as it is, Burnout Paradise still stands up against them in its own way, but the difference is and I think, Gary, this is where I need to bring you in a little bit, the races in Burnout Paradise aren't the best part of Burnout Paradise.
Oh, no. I don't know, it's the excitement, the crashing, and that kind of thing.
It's open world for me, like...
yeah,
just going around smashing the barriers and the billboards and kind of doing the jumps and the stunts and all that, and crash mode, of course, crash mode.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, Forza Horizon wouldn't exist without Burnout Paradise, because it's like that whole sort of concept came from it. I mean, it's even got, not quite the same, but it's got like the XP boards that you'd smash in Horizon, that kind of thing, which is obviously taken kind of from the billboard stuff. And
I remember doing a video review chat. I don't think it was you. I think it might have been Horizon 2, So I want to say it was with Lee Garber. It might have been Horizon 3 actually. I can't remember, but I do remember saying in the video that like that game felt the closest to a new Burnout Paradise that I've ever played.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know. I wonder, not to go off a tangent too much. I wonder what the idea is behind this. Is it to see, because obviously EA are very much that we make Need for Speed games, and they don't review well, and people don't really love them, but this is a reminder of Burnout Paradise and makes you wonder, are they testing the waters for a 2, you know?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're at least testing the waters for a new Burnout of some kind, because it's been a while now, and people want it. People really want a new Burnout. That's why when they announced this remaster, even though everyone kind of knew it was coming, everyone went nuts for it. Everyone wants to play it again. And it's going to be it's relatively cheap as well, I think, like 30 quid, something like that. So it's a decent price as well. A lot of people, I think, happily pick it up.
I'm wondering, like for first-time players, how do you think this game will go? Like,
I think as long as people play it, like allow themselves to kind of play it with the progression the game offers. So, like, there's have you played it?
Yeah.
So do you know how like after a little, maybe about half an hour, 40 minutes, you get told like, hey, there's a new car in the area, smash it, and you can win his car. I think that's the way you need to play it. But obviously, having played through it all a long time ago, and actually on Xbox 360 backwards compatibility, I just kind of used some of the new cars that I don't think I ever had a look at. Like, there's a DeLorean in here that you can actually hover in. And that kind of stuff, and like that stuff was all DLC if I remember correctly, and of course Big Surf Island, which isn't the best. It was fine, but it wasn't as good as like the main game. There's a lot of game here. I just playing it again. I'm not finding myself wanting to do the races and level up my driver level. I'm kind of just wanting to go around smashing through barriers and jumping stuff, and for me, I can grab those new cars and do that because I've got the speed available, you know?
See, it sounds a bit like kind of sad to say like that crashing the car in Burnout is one of the highlights. Then it's racing. And I think that's why we kind of enjoy it a lot, obviously, is because it's just super satisfying when you do it. But I wonder, that's what I mean, if somebody's going to play this for the first time, for how games have gone forward and stuff, like, is the element of the car smashing going to be enough for people to go, oh, that feels great?
There's some weird stuff about this game that if you're a younger gamer and you have played stuff like Forza Horizon, I think you might think, what? So, like, I don't know if people will remember this, but there are actually... So you know how in modern driving games there's like a GPS on your map? That's not in this game. In this game, you get street signs at the top of the screen, and they blink if you need to go on that one. So it will be like, Boulevard West or whatever, and it will start blinking on the left, and that's to tell you, because kind of every race or event that isn't like a crash mode, every race ends in one of a few sort of set points. Which is one of the reasons that the races aren't the most amazing. Like you kind of end up at the same place a lot of the time. So you do learn the map, but the younger gamer won't be used to that kind of... I don't want to compare it to Dark Souls, but in that style of game where it's like, we're not going to hold your hand, find your own way. It's a bit like that, and that might put people off. But I think the sheer sense of speed and elation, and also it's hard not to get swept up in this game when it starts the way it does with Burnout Paradise. The Paradise City ringing.
Mate, there's only one track that I listen to.
I know what you're going to say. Go on.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of Avril Lavigne's Girlfriend, so I go straight to that bad boy, and I when I started playing it, I did a bit of, did the first race and that, but I just kind of just went off on it and just went travelling, like I do on Forza Horizon 3. That's one of the things I love doing, is just driving around without any kind of restrictions, and there's some great songs, but fucking Avril. What a tune.
I'm probably like a horrible prick to say this, but I actually don't remember any of the soundtrack doing anything for me.
So there's 3 songs that well, there's more than 3 songs, but for me, Paradise City is the obvious one. It's Guns N' Roses. Skater Boy Skater Boy, sorry, Skater Boy, Girlfriend. I'm going to say it. It's not a very good song. Sorry. Everyone who's now hating me, I mean...
Well, I can actually say something way worse.
No, I know what I don't think you should. I know how you feel about the band. I don't know that it's wise. But if you want to, Adam, I will not censor you.
Do you actually know?
I think I do know, yeah.
Yeah, I just hate Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, that's what... Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
I know. We've discussed this. I actually think the best track on the soundtrack is Jimmy Eat World's Electable. But that's because I'm a massive Jimmy Eat World fan.
They're on it.
Yeah, I was playing through it, like, the remaster, and I was like, I absolutely swear blind there's a Jimmy Eat World track. And there was one, they had... what track did they have? I think they might have had Chase This Light, the album track, well, the album name, on PGA Tour, one of the PGA Tour golf games, which I always thought was really such a strange band to have on a golf game, but it was there. But I was damn sure there was a Jimmy Eat World, and it's Electable, give it up.
See, that's weird, because the soundtrack is just very random. Like, from those 3 songs that were mentioned, it's kind of a bit... I think that was my problem. I just didn't know what it was going for in its, like, music. But, look, it's just good songs to go along with a game, I get it. But
it's a game I could just happily just... those games when you... Yeah, like, when you sat there and you don't really feel like playing anything, but you also want to play something, like, just throw Burnout Paradise on and smash up some billboards and stuff, and I'm into that. It
has that same kind of effect of, like, Rocket League or playing a game of FIFA. Just throw it on, go.
Yeah. And you'll happily lose 40 minutes to an hour, and before you realise I've done nothing but go around... I'll tell you what, throws trophies at you. Like when you're just going around. I mean, Chris, if you said you've played some of it, did you feel the same? It throws them at you, doesn't it?
Very much so. Yeah, you don't even know what you're doing to get them.
Those trophies are the best.
Fucking A, yeah.
The mistake trophies.
I forgot it did this, and I think this was... I mean, it's difficult because it's that whole rose-tinted glasses thing, but I feel like it was ahead of its time, because did you play enough, Chris, to be reminded of the fact that every road in the game has its own leaderboard?
Yeah.
So it's not like every race you can set leaderboard times for just driving the fastest down a road.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like mental.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, very much so.
But that's Burnout Paradise Remastered. We'll have something on the site soon. It's a weird one because I just need to sit down and formulate my ideas about what this game is in 2018 and how it's still... Because it's difficult because I love this game. Like you read about, love this game. And the idea that I've got to sit and write a review of it now is a weird one. But, whatever. Let's jump forward a bit. Gary, you have been playing a new game that I have been trying to find the time to play. Downloaded twice now, thanks to the beta and the retail version, which is a combined total of a roughly, 40 gig that means. But I'm very excited to play it because all I've heard about it suggests that this is kind of a new Left 4 Dead game, but it's a Warhammer game, Vermintide 2.
Yep, it's very Left 4 Dead. I mean, I didn't play the first one. I think I got it for free on like Games with Gold or PS Plus, something like that, but I didn't get around to playing it. But playing this, and I'm just like, it's so Left 4 Dead. Including, like, instead of getting, like, your hordes, you get, like, the tides, and you get all, like, the Skaven and the... I want to say the chaos.
Can you explain to us... Because for those who don't know, I'm going on what I understand, so I'd like you to tell us about that, because this... You say Left 4 Dead, but I believe this has got, like, persistence in a way for your characters. But the other thing I want to know about, really, just like if we go right back to what this game is, what are you killing?
It's kind of a mixture. I mean, I'm not even going to try and decipher, like, the story, because trying to decipher any kind of Warhammer story is just, no, don't try. Don't try, you'll go mad. But, you're fighting kind of a mixture. There's, like, the Skaven, which are, like, the rat people, basically.
So when you say rat people...
Like, they are basically humanoid rats. Essentially,
okay.
They're running on two
rats
legs.
For heads?
No, they are actually still rats, basically.
Anamorphic rats.
There you go.
Right.
Okay. Which are rats that move like humans, or animals that move like humans, but are the.
So do they have?
I'm trying to.
They have rat's tails and rat hands, or do they have like more humanoid? I just want you to paint a picture, a really specific picture of what these rats look like as you slaughter them.
Like Foxy Bingo, the fox on Foxy.
Yeah.
think of that, or a rat that looks like he's pretty angry.
Hang on a sec, I just need to write down the title, Foxy Bingo. Thank you very much, Chris. This is going beautifully. Please, Gary. So, Foxy, you're killing the fox, but that's a rat,
Yeah.
and Foxy Bingo.
Yeah, and there's also, like, I've not got too into it, so I don't know the specifics yet, but there's, like, the Chaos, like, Brood or something like that, which they essentially look kind of zombie-like, but they're more, I don't know, they're supposed to, like, more demonic or something like that. It's been a long...
Foxy Bingo. Sorry, guys, sorry.
It's been a long time since I've really sort of been into, like, the Warhammer stuff, so it's very difficult for me to work out what's what, but... Yeah, I've had so much fun already. I've not played an awful lot, but the gameplay is...
dying to play this with you.
Yeah.
Dying to play this with you.
It's Left 4 Dead, but with kind of an RPG kind of element to it, and like it's more melee based because it's like swords and axes and stuff. But you've got your different characters.
So are there guns? Because I know there are ranged characters,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that means. I'm going on what I've picked up from the videos and other podcasts really here, you know?
Yeah, there is that you can get guns. Like I think it's just one of the characters can get guns. Another guy has like a crossbow. You've got a woman that uses fire magic. Yeah, she's cool. She's the best character I've played as so far. But you can't use magic too much because it starts to consume her. So you have to start using your sword a bit more and let it kind of cool down.
Right.
I suppose literally cool down.
Yeah.
But then you've got like, there's a kind of assassin-like character. She's got a bow and arrow. And each character has their own sort of strengths. They've got their own like special move as well. Like the fire lass she kind of teleports into an area, but wherever she teleports, there's like a massive flame explosion around her. So it's nice to kind of wait and use that against one of the bigger characters. Like there's one that's basically a tank from Left 4 Dead, but it's like it's a giant version of the Skaven. I can't for the life of me think of what the name of it is. But basically giant rat man. And
wait, hang on. So are all the enemies kind of rats?
No, some
variants.
All the Skaven ones are, but then you've got these Chaos ones, which are more like the kind of demon / zombie kind of undead like people, like actual like people, more humanoid.
And how does this work? Because like with Left 4 Dead, just everyone here loves Left 4 Dead, right? And Left 4 Dead 2, we're all
Yeah.
But do you know how in them they kind of like, you know, what you went from safe room to safe room and you kind of progressed through I don't want to say campaign, but no, they were, weren't they? They were Is that the same?
Not. I mean, it kind of is, but there's no safe rooms. Basically, it's just one big like mission at a time. But it's the same. You even remember how you got the little icons that came up saying basically like, this is your objective, you know, and then it'd kind of go off and you see it in the distance. It does the exact same thing here. So it's like I think there was one where it's basically you've got to rescue villagers that have been caged, and you get the icon that tells you where, you know, you go straight to that, start rescuing people while fighting off these hordes of creatures. And the good thing is it's not just your generic creatures as well. Because again, like Left 4 Dead, it's got special units. There's one, I mean, they all seem very Left 4 Dead actually. Like one of them is like the, I forget what it was, but you use like the tongue to grab you and drag you along. There's one like that, but it's basically, it throws hooks at you and drags you back. And,
nice.
You know, they can pin you and stuff like that. The assassin jumps on you and pins you, just starts hacking away at you until someone comes and knocks them off. And, I want to play more.
You're enjoying it, obviously.
Yeah, I want to go back. It's fucking hard though. I mean, so far I've only played with the AI because I kind of wanted to just get a feel for it first. The AI is not that bright a lot of the time. And I've tried 3 of the missions so far and I've only finished 1. Because I got battered. One of the giant rat things, like, basically knocked me off the side of a castle wall, dead, instant death. It's like, mother.
Yeah.
But, no, really, really enjoying it, want to play more, and I want more loot, because, you get loot for, you level up each character, for however you perform, even if you don't complete a mission, you still get XP for it. Which will unlock new weapons. Some of them do different things, like the firewoman. I should know the name, but I've completely blanked
Maybe
on
that
it.
is the name. Maybe she's just called firewoman.
They do all have names because they chat to each other
Scorch.
throughout.
Is it Scorch? Is the name Scorch?
It's a very normal name, but I just can't think of what it is.
Helen.
Yeah.
Andrea Scorchini.
but she, I unlocked a couple
maybe
of...
that's the episode title, actually.
Yeah. Andrea Scorchini.
Yeah.
But, I found, a couple of weapons... I unlocked a couple of weapons for her, and, one of them, instead of, having more of a ranged attack with a staff, it's more like a flamethrower. And another one turned it basically into, a fire beam instead. So it's it changes things up a little bit, and you can get for the human guy who he basically runs around with double-handed weapons, starts off with a giant sword kind of thing, and you can get halberds and axes and stuff like that for him, which you get a wider swing arc, that kind of thing, so you can hit more in one go. Yeah, it's just talked about it makes me want to play it again.
Yeah, I'm dying to try this. It's interesting because it seems to be a bit of a, I don't want to say resurgence, but perhaps just people are seeing more of this. But with Vermintide, with all these battle royale games and Hunt Showdowns doing its own things, there seems to be a resurgence in these team-based, sort of cooperative multiplayer experiences. People love shooters. I think people also, speaking of things people love, I think it's fair to say most people have a certain fondness for supermassive games.
Yeah.
Until Dawn and that. And Sony have been making them sounds like they're at gunpoint themselves, but they've been making them do VR games. And I reviewed The Inpatient, which is obviously set in the Until Dawn universe. But Chris has been playing Bravo Team.
I have.
Are you still a fan of Supermassive?
Oh, yeah. I'm still a fan of Supermassive for Until Dawn. Bravo Team, it's not a bad game by any means, but it's not what I hoped it would be. It's odd. It's odd because the intro, it's really cool. One thing, because I've only been playing VR for a few weeks now, so it's all still kind of new to me. It still fascinates me how it looks when you're in there. So it basically you start off in the back of a car, and you look to your left and there's another soldier there, and then in front of you there's a woman talking in her native language, and then the two drivers, and then all of a sudden the car stops. Someone rips off the roof, shoots her in the head, and then there's a bomb goes off, and you kind of shake, and then it goes dark, and then you come back and it's all smoky and foggy outside, and then someone rips the door open and it's the driver, and then that's where your game starts. So you get out and you've got your gun, and I wasn't expecting to move around freely at all. I know it's very much cover based, but I don't enjoy the freedom of it. It reminds me kind of like Time Crisis, but not quite on rails. You do have a certain freedom to it, but you haven't got 100% freedom, the kind of freedom I'd like. I wasn't expecting it to be Call of Duty, because I know it can be very tricky and it could be kind of dangerous for spinning around, and it can make people throw up and all that kind of stuff if you like Skyrim, where it's a lot more movement involved. So the basic idea behind the movement is you go from cover to cover, and you start off on this bridge. So there's a lot of cars that have crashed, and you're moving from car to car, whether that be moving from the bonnet of one car, ducking down to the car door of another, and you keep going.
How are you moving?
So you use the left, I don't know what the buttons are on the move, but the left kind of big button in the middle. You use that to you aim that to move towards an area, and it will be kind of highlighted with a white outline. You press that and then you move.
When you say you move,
You click the button and you move automatically.
But when you say you move automatically, does it blink you out? It just blinks and you're there? Because I've seen some video of this, and it looks like it does what I consider one of the cardinal sins of VR. Like, if you're going to do that, if you're going to put the white circle, then the teleport, it's basically teleport movement. You need to basically have the screen blink and you're there.
Oh, I think it's so poor.
Or you need to have direct control where you physically move, like in Farpoint.
It kind of does that. It kind of does the teleport. There's like some vague movement, but you don't. It doesn't feel like you're moving. You're just kind of there, and you.
Because I saw a video that made it look like, and this, because I was going to give this a try too, and I literally saw this video. I was like, if that's the way they handle movement, fuck off. It looked like you click to go somewhere, and the camera pulls out, and your character runs in front of you, and then you.
Exactly it.
Yeah, that's not. No. Yeah. That is that. So you click where you want to move, and the sort of your character runs in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? Pop back into his head,
then
or
you go back into first person. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's I'm not even going to play. That's dread. I mean, again, I haven't played it, but to me, that is a cardinal sin of VR. You cannot.
Wait. So does the camera like follow behind the person?
So it kind of pans out of first person to behind the guy you are, and then you watch him move to the next place, and then it goes back in, and you become like back to first person again.
Oh, so the camera doesn't move; it just kind of like stops.
Watches.
The guy runs off, and then it just blinks back into the head of the.
Back into.
So it goes into third person when you move, but you don't actually move; it's automatic.
That's weird.
To me, that's like if you're going to use VR, like I've played third person game. I mean, like Lucky's Tale. What was the Insomniac game? Oh, God, it was like a third-person adventure shooter thingy. It was on Rift only. Oh, man, that's going to bug me. That was a third-person game, but you can't be a first-person game and then just decide, we're going to show you your character while you move. Because for me, like you're trying to create this immersive experience in VR. That's kind of what VR can deliver.
Yeah.
That no other style of game can deliver that degree of immersion. And if you pull the camera and just let your character, essentially let you run into the distance, and then you're back into you, that's fucking madness to me.
It doesn't feel that authentic. And the thing, if you got one of the guns from Farpoint, definitely use it, because it's I'm finding it very awkward to fire. Well, not to fire, to aim.
So you're using move control, or you said you were, didn't you?
I'm using move controls, yeah. And it is very awkward. You've got your rifles or your pistols, that kind of thing, and with a rifle you've got the infrared sight on. But it could be tricky, and it's because it's kind of so grey and brown. It's very difficult to find your target because they're all kind of wearing black, and they're hid behind like darker cars and that. And it's, I don't know, I just wasn't blown away by it. I was kind of excited to play it, and like after a few hours, I'm just feel a bit let down by it. It's just a bit dull. And like when you go into an arcade and you play at House of the Dead, or you play any of those like shite rip-offs of House of the Dead, it's just you clear the enemies, and then instead of the computer moving you to the next point automatically, you have to click on the different kind of places to hide till you get to the next part, and then you shoot them all again. Then you have to aim to find out where you want to move and keep moving. And so it's redundant. It might as well just be an on rails like war game, because it just doesn't feel natural. It's not, and like you can, if you want to run back, like go back to where you were, I think you press the circle and then you turn round 180 degrees.
Yeah.
But then that can get confusing, because if you've done it and it hasn't quite worked, you're facing the enemies and you're not sure if that's the way forward or the way back. It doesn't flow at all, and it's a little disappointing, to be honest.
It's funny because like having gone back to PSVR myself, like recently for a lot, like for Moss and that, I had a couple of games I've been waiting to try just for the time when you sit down, I'm going to spend some time with PSVR, and I played Out of Ammo, which is a game I'd seen quite good things about, but on PSVR it's the limitations of that system show up. Like that in this game, it should be cool. Like you have the gun you lift up and you have to physically with your head look down the sights of a sniper rifle, and it wasn't working. It was just blinking all over the place. Like the gun was just fucking all over the shop. And then I pressed the button to turn around like 90 degrees, and then I could see a wall. So you're like in a sniper tower, and then I pressed the button to turn another 90 degrees, and my body was outside the tower, like I was just floating in midair.
Well, that it's like that the aiming, you can, like, I had to just hold the left stick behind my back because and use the right move controller to use the assault rifle, because if you've got your left move controller next to your right, so as if you're holding an assault rifle, you're holding the left kind of the top handle near the like the tip of the gun, and then the right with the trigger. You hold it like a rifle so you can look through the sight, but it's very limited. Like you're saying about limitations on the PS4, it just doesn't work. It doesn't move quick enough, and the sight doesn't work well. So I had to hold the left move to not intervene with when I was aiming with the right, and that's how it's supposed to be. So
you said it's not bad, but it sounds bad. It sounds like a game they made to almost justify, hey, remember that gun controller you bought for Farpoint? Well, we've made another game.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. When this game was announced and I saw like screenshots and everything, I went, oh, fucking, like, who's going to give a shit about this? Like, I genuinely think it's one of the worst titles for a game I've heard in quite some time as well.
It's not a great name.
Bravo Team is dog shit. It's a dog shit fucking name.
It's really generic, isn't it?
It's really generic. And then when you look at the screenshots, like, before you even play it, you're like, what the fuck is this supposed to be? Like, you know, and I think it was a kind of I hate to say it because I really like this developer with Until Dawn and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, this just seems like a very straight VR cash-in. It's like, just get them out there. This is what we signed you up to do. Release a shooting one. As you just said, Adam, the gun, everything. We just need something for us. And, like, the teleporting kind of side of these games, I'm sorry, give it another 5 more games, at even, like, probably 3, and people are going to go, you know what, fuck this, I don't want to play a game like this ever again. Because the teleporting thing is just not fun. It's just not fun. Like, at all.
I'll tell you what, man. There's another way, because there's 2 ways of allowing movement. That's one of them. The other one is just direct control. I don't mean to cut you off, but Chris has been playing a game I was actually quite excited to play. I have played a bit of it. This got a third way of movement controls. Chris, you've been playing VRFC, which is Virtual Reality Football Club. It's a football game, a proper football game, and no one's done this to my knowledge. That's why I was so excited for it.
Yeah, have you played it?
I have played it. Yeah,
I think it's fucking dreadful.
Yeah,
I think, like, the concept, I was like, oh, amazing, this is what I've been waiting for. Football game
absolutely.
That's in VR. Like, I know I'm not going to be able to kick it physically with my feet because I know there's not movement.
No, that you can't do, Chris. That you can't do.
I completely get. But I thought it would be a lot fucking easier to control. I was in the tutorial for God knows how. Like, it was saying, like, you run by moving your hands like you were running. But then it says to move left, you move it left. But then I was doing that, and I was keep going straight forward. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Mm-hmm. And it's just dreadful. And, like, you can kind of, if you lose your way, I think you click the right move and you center back to where the ball is. But it's it's all over the place.
Or you're actually playing the game. You're actually playing the match.
First person. All right. You are
because I full blown thought that this was going to be like a Football Manager style game.
No, it's full on.
That's interesting. If you can stand on the sidelines of a match,
stand on the sideline.
That's a great idea.
You use the move controllers to, like, give your directions, shout at people, use your voice. Lads, we have it. We're going to be
Adam, pitch it to EA. That's what they need for FIFA.
I don't even watch fucking football, and look at that. Boom.
No, VRFC is you are a footballer running around a field, and they don't call it early access, but I kind of have to feel this is going to be updated, because I think the thing I was left, like I said to you, like, how's no one done this before? The second you start playing it, you're like, well, the reason they've not done it before is because you can't track your feet. because
Yeah.
so you run up to the ball and you can hold, I think it's left trigger on the left move, I think, and that kind of sticks you to the ball. So when you're running now, you're dribbling with the ball. Then to kick it, you have to swing what are essentially your hands, like you swing your right hand to kick with your right foot. It doesn't work though.
No. Sounds dreadful.
It's kind of hilarious because the other night I was thinking, what PSVR game exists that you look the most ridiculous playing? And this kind of sounds like it so far.
See, I'd be interested because there's a game called Headmaster that I think, Chris, I don't know if you downloaded that.
Not yet.
I've played that.
So Headmaster's great fun. Because that game recognises the limitations of the medium. That game recognises, look, we want to do something with football, but we can't track your feet. So how about we just track your head? And the football in this game is you heading it. And it feels like you're impacting the ball. It feels like you're directing the ball. It's got like an overarching story that's kind of silly and oppressive and daft enough to keep you playing. And it's fun. This game... It tries to make it's kind of admirable. I think that they've gone out there and gone, we're going to do this. It doesn't work. You can't kick a ball with your hands while you're running also with your hands.
It's a real shame though, because
it
should be good. Like I feel like we're seeing a lot more of these kind of attempts being made, and they're just falling straight on their arse.
Did you ever play any of the Kinect Sports games at all? Did any of you ever play Kinect Sports where there was like there was a football game in that?
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah.
That you literally kicked. That's what this is. Only it can't track your feet because the camera's only tracking
How the fuck do you
lights.
kick the ball then?
Well,
you swing your arm. Did you say?
Can't track your feet. What are you doing?
So
Using your head?
No, your arms. So the move wands that you're holding are also, if you stand still and look at your feet, you move them around and your feet kind of move in that direction. So you kind of have to angle.
So you have to look at your feet first.
Well, I
to
guess
kick the ball that's coming at you.
So I guess at some point it becomes more intuitive that you recognise, since this hand is my foot, if I bend it slightly down and I'm going to angle it to cushion the ball, and then I didn't play enough of it to know. It doesn't work for me, I'm afraid.
No.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
It sounds absolute garbage.
If the gameplay was like exactly how it is in a real football game, would football be really funny?
Yeah. Well, no one would score because you can't even kick the ball. It wouldn't. Like I don't know. This is it's just a strange. It just feels like at no point did anyone go this, because I tell you what might work is if they let you play it with the controller, PS4 controller, the DualShock, and you could just have direct control, and run around in first person, and then the R2 was right foot and L2 was left foot, and that might work.
I'd happily play it like that. Yeah.
You would. I tell you, the trouble is, and the reason they've not done that is that lots of people get motion sickness. Whereas because you're running with your arms, it is like you're running and you don't get motion sick. Whereas if you, I don't know. Have you played any other PSVR, Chris? Before we move on, I don't know if you've had time to.
I don't know if I talked about Resi last time.
You mentioned you'd played it.
Oh, I played more of it. I think that's by far the best PSVR game I've played.
Hands down. That and super
I've heard
hot.
this.
I'm more than happy to use a controller to play a VR game. I've got much more control over my movement. I can spend time concentrating on. I know what the controls are because I've played it originally. It's very straightforward, and because it's such an intense game, and it's such a kind of, just horrifying game. It just works. Because I would agree with you in your pants. In
principle, PSVR, I will agree with you. But when it comes to Rift or Vive, I think those controllers are the ultimate in VR. It's difficult to explain without actually just saying, here, have a go on it. But the Rift controllers, the way they fit your hands, the way they track, they've actually got little sensors on them to track your finger movement. So you can actually point with your fingers. You don't need a button. You just point with your fingers and it knows that you're pointing. Yeah. That kind of stuff. I think that is the ultimate VR. But when it comes to PS4... Yeah, I'm with you. I think most of those... I just don't... do you know what? The gun works quite well, the Firepoint gun, but I don't feel the Move controllers, and it's weird because I would be the one out there saying that of all the motion controllers, the Move ones were the best. They were better than the Wii. They were better than Kinect. They were superb. And how I don't know what's happened here, but yeah.
I'll tell you one more game quickly just before I go on. I have played is the Doom VFR.
Oh yeah,
yeah, which I quite enjoyed. I think I like that. I like the kind of moving like that because it just reminds me of the old school PC version. Where you just move forward, down, left, right, and you can turn. But I like the movement of the guns as well. It feels quite natural. So I've enjoyed playing that a bit. But that's about it.
Okay, Chris, we've got to lose you, haven't we? Now, I'm afraid
we have. I'm sorry.
So
piss off then.
We'll let Chris say his goodbyes, and then we'll take. Don't end it
off,
like
everyone.
We'll let Chris say his goodbyes, and then we'll take a little break, and we'll come back to you with some more game chat and news. Chris, by all means.
Goodbye, one and all. Have a lovely remaining podcast. To everyone listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention. I love you all forever and always. Amen. Bye bye. Happy Mother's Day. Whatever. Take care.
See you, Chris.
Bye.
Adam, we're back, and so is Gary. Hopefully Gary's still here as well.
I am, unfortunately for you.
Now that Chris is gone, we can talk about the sexy Bayonetta, because Adam, you have been... Oh, I mean, I guess when you're moving into a new place, the Switch is perfect for moving?
Man, it's been like an incredibly stressful week in just moving and buying furniture from IKEA and making stuff and working and everything. So I was trying to get my gaming setup together, so I had to go out and buy a TV and a unit.
What did you get? Did you get 4K? Did you get 4K?
No, I didn't get a 4K. Do you know? I just went for a standard, like...
CRT 43.
Yeah. Like, I just went for a standard one just to get me by, because if I do end up moving home, it'll be easy to sell. So I got that, and I have a big game that I'm going to be playing that I'll talk about next week. I'm starting that today, which I'm very excited about. So, but at the moment, it was just all the Switch, and I started Bayonetta again. Like, I don't know what it is, but I actually can't remember much of the first game at all.
No, me neither.
It was really weird. Like, I always remember the very beginning, but after that, and it's not that it's like forgettable, because it just isn't. It's like, it's mental, but I think it holds up really well. I really think it still plays really well. It's incredibly satisfying. It's off the fucking wall. It's like, I think, if I'm right, you reviewed it, Adam, and you said that it's kind of awkward to play in public.
No, I only reviewed Bayonetta 2. Mikhail did the first one, but same applies.
Yeah. It kind of is, because like, I'd have it at work and I was sitting there, and then I remember somebody goes, "What are you playing?" And I was just like, it's a game called Bayonetta. How do I explain this to make it sound normal? Like, it's
Stop
an impossible... Yeah, do you know? But I've had a good time with it. I went for the Link outfit straight away, because anything that lets me dress up as Link, I'm sold. And it's really funny. It's like, it just has all the rupees again. It makes the sounds. You open like a chest and it makes the da-da-da-da sound, and it's really satisfying. One thing I noticed playing the first one though, and I don't know if it's the same in the second, but do you not think that Bayonetta runs incredibly weird?
I mean, everything about her character is sexualized in a kind of weird way.
No. The way her legs are moving is not sexy. Let's just get that straight, okay?
If I remember correctly, they've tried to make her kind of like as if she's always on a catwalk, the way she moves in terms of running.
Well, she does that when she's walking, but when she's
I'm trying to think what a run animation is.
It's like both of her feet go outwards to the side.
Okay, right.
When she's running, and it's such a fucking odd animation that you just laugh when you're doing it, like because the whole her whole character, as you said, is over the top and it is very much sexualized and stuff. But when she runs, all of that just disappears, and it's just so bizarre.
Right.
But I really love it. I do think when I get around to playing 2, that 2 is definitely a better game.
It's easier, from what I remember.
Yeah, it may be easier, but I'm not finding the first one all that challenging either. Now, I am only playing it on normal, but I'll always play every game on normal, because I just feel that's the way the game is designed, like, to play at its best. But it has its moments, but I think once you nail the combos and stuff down, you're kind of okay, you know. As like, if you go in there button bashing, you're definitely gonna just die a shit ton. Like, that's just the way it is. But I found, coming even away from DMC, only playing that recently, they both their gameplays are so different, but they both do it so well, I think.
Right.
But yeah, like, it's a good game, but like, it's annoying because I've been away from the PS4 and stuff, but there hasn't been much else I've been playing at all. It's just that, but I'll have a lot more to talk about next week.
Yeah, I know you're going to be playing Yakuza 6 at some point, aren't you? So.
Yep.
Okay, I mean,
incredibly excited.
Yes, I'm incredibly excited to get some chance to play some more of that. I've also been. We'll talk about this next week, I think, because it's, being completely honest, it'd be easier to not have to cut this out and then put it back in and all sorts, because Kirby Star Allies I've been playing, and while I've been able to talk about it in a preview sense, I could, at the time of this goes live, be able to talk about it in a review sense. But we'll do that next week, I think. Yeah. Before we get into news, Gaz, you've also been playing H1Z1, which is a strange thing because this is the game that hasn't got zombies in it anymore, and they broke it out that into another mode and a whole new game. And now they've got this H1Z1, which also has Auto Royale in it, and that seems pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of the most confusing games to explain. Just because of the way it was. I mean, it was like, technically it came before PUBG because it started in like 2015, but it came out of the original PUBG, which was a mod for Arma 2, and you just, again, like with Vermintide, you just go mad trying to put it all together.
This is out now. This game's officially out now. You can buy it as a, well, I don't want to say retail, but it's not early access. It's out of early access.
It's
what a weird thing games are nowadays.
Yeah, it was a weird one as well, because it came out of early access, and then like a week later, it's now free to play, and it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, the core gameplay is Battlegrounds. You know, there's pretty much nothing different. You've got you parachute onto the map the same way, near enough. You then scavenge for weapons. You go into a circle, but instead of, you know, like the blue stormy kind of electricity thing that chases you in PUBG, it's a cloud of gas, which I assume is tying it into the zombie thing. You know, it's like that gas, maybe that's the thing that killed people and turned them into zombies for Just Survive whenever that shows up. If it ever shows up, I don't know.
That one's in early access, and that's the zombie one, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's in early access. Maybe it is. I've not looked at this yet.
So where does DayZ fit into all of this? Is that a completely different developer? What the hell is that?
That was someone else entirely that did.
Okay.
Because again, the confusion starts. That started before PUBG. Like the PUBG mod for Arma 2 kind of came from DayZ. Because it was like Brendan Green was like, this is cool. I like this survival kind of thing. What if you were fighting other people just in like a battle royale sense? You know, like it was like this. I'm guessing he was a fan of the battle royale movie, and went, that's a cool idea. Why not do that? And you know, PUBG was born essentially. And yeah, I mean, DayZ's another one that's kind of like, I mean, I don't know what's going on with that game. You know, it's been in early access for years now, and they keep saying, "Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming soon," and then just nothing. So yeah, weird. But this one, going back to it, long tangent. It's got this Auto Royale mode, which that's so much fun. That's ridiculous. It's like Mad Max. You know, it's like it still plays like PUBG. You've still got the circle that you've got to get into and everything. but it's teams of 4 in a car. One guy driving, 3
locked in a car.
Yeah,
you can't get out of the vehicle.
Yeah, it's like you're all in there. You've got one driver, 3 with guns, and you're fighting everyone else. Same thing, last man standing or last team standing. But yeah, I mean, it's just insane. And when you get into
it sounds like Twisted Metal or something.
It kind of is, but rather than just having like like your rockets or whatever that's bolted on the side, it's like a group of 3 people just shooting in every direction at each other's cars, and you've got explosions going everywhere, and you can I think basically to stop the driver just getting bored because all they're doing is driving, they can place you can pick up icons that are dotted around, which to give you weapons and stuff they can drop mines behind them and stuff like that. So if you're in a big chase, you can drop a mine, cars flying everywhere. It's great. It's it's kind of like that bit in the recent Mad Max film where they're all driving in the desert and there's shit going off everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like that, just permanent. Because it's just, as soon as you get to the smaller circles, there's not really anywhere to hide, and there's just car chases all over the place. It's so much fun. It kind of, because I was a bit on the fence playing it at the start before I tried out the Auto Royale, because I was just like, why would you play this when you've got Battlegrounds or Fortnite? It's like, there's nothing separating it. And then you go into Auto Royale and go, actually, this is what separates it. And
that's like a beta, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I don't know how it's going to work.
That even weird. There's layering weird on weird. So, the game comes out of early access. You can now buy it as a final coded version, or not on early access. But there's a beta mode of a new game mode in it.
I mean, whether it's kind of obviously you've got Fortnite doing these events, that they only last a week or 2 or something. Maybe it's kind of their way of doing it, but rather than it being, here's this Auto Royale for 2 weeks, you go, right, you can play the beta, and then maybe later on it's okay, this is going to be a full-fledged mode, and it'll always be there. Maybe that's kind of what they're doing, and they'll do the same with other modes later, I don't know, but it's just such a confusing situation, that the whole thing around that game. But I mean, especially now it's free, it's worth a go, and it's worth playing Auto Royale just for that, because it's just so much fun.
Review. By the time you can hear this, review will be up on GodIsAGeek.com of H1Z1, and you can read more of Gary's thoughts there, I guess. Any of the other games anyone else wants to talk about, or shall we move into the news?
Let's do the news.
Aye.
Okay, well, this first one is just a quick hit, really, but we kind of got to mention it because it's big news. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is coming out on October the 12th with the community reveal on the May the 17th. Now, the reason this is news is because it's earlier than normal.
We all know why.
Do we?
They're running scared, aren't they?
Of?
Red Dead.
Oh,
they would have been.
I had forgotten about that.
They would have been releasing it a week and a half after Red Dead 2. They've clearly gone. Hang on a minute, let's release it earlier, get it out. Because I mean, another thing, you've got the new Battlefield, which is probably going to be end of October as well.
Yeah. So
it's get it out. I know, maybe running scared is a little harsh, but I think it's a little bit like 2 birds, 1 stone, get it out in before your immediate competition of Battlefield and the big game.
But Call of Duty has been a November game.
Yeah.
It for a long, long time now.
Yep. Well, it's always been is it Veterans Day that they usually release it on?
Yeah, something like that.
Sort of thing. So it's usually, it's a weird thing to kind of tie it into, but it's kind of always, it's always been there. So the fact that it's 2-3 weeks before that now.
I mean, how do you guys feel about this? Call of Duty is I don't honestly feel like we're best placed to talk about this, because while we will cover it and play it, it sort of has its own life now. Call of Duty, it's gone beyond this thing of mainstream or specialist press covering it. It's just this thing that happens every year now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always play it, but I don't play it for as long as I used to play it.
I've I'm completely burnt out from it.
I think I am.
I think a lot of people are as well, and I think even fans of the games are feeling that way too, because it's just they've had a good run, like an extremely good run, and look, Black Ops 4 will sell well. It will.
It probably will because it's a Black Ops game, but they've gone into the future. They've gone into the past. Like what's you know?
Well, there was rumours of this one being like another kind of World War-y kind of thing, I think, and it's just like you can't go back in time, surely.
But I feel like Call of Duty is losing its identity, because even the 3 studios making the games, you had was it Treyarch or not Treyarch? I can't remember. Was it Treyarch that always did zombies first?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But now zombies is in every game. But it was like where you had Treyarch games that did zombies. I think Sledgehammer might be the ones that did Spec Ops. I think.
Sledgehammer.
And there was another mode that I've completely forgotten the name of. Like even the studios feel like they are not making their own individual Call of Duty now. It's like I don't know.
I wonder will they still deliver a single player campaign?
Yes, they definitely
because
will.
I don't know, man. No, like nobody plays those campaigns. Like I play them.
Yeah,
I play them.
I only play the campaigns. I like all.
I think if you're going to start removing the campaign, the time you do that isn't with the 4th in a series of games within a series. Like it maybe has to be, if they call the next one, say Call of Duty War Games, that's maybe the one where you can say, right, no single player, but I don't think Black Ops 4 can not have a single player.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To be honest, I've not played Black Ops 3, so I don't even know where the story is now.
I have, but I cannot remember it.
Probably says it all.
Speaking of sequels, though, this is one I'm genuinely excited about. There's no faking anything here. I really like The Division. I did fall off of the game hard. I went back to it for the DLC, the survival stuff. The Division 2 is a thing, and it looks like it will be coming, I think, this year. They're going to show us more at E3. I'm not sure I'm going to get any of you two matching my excitement for this.
Yeah, I played the beta.
I never played the first one.
Yeah, I played the beta and that was it. It just wasn't. It didn't grab me. But I'd like to give it because I do quite like that kind of military shooter style.
Yeah.
I think my biggest problem was it was kind of the MMO side of it. So it's like it takes away from the military side, because normally stuff like Rainbow Six, that kind of thing, it's very fast, but you shoot a guy basically dead, aren't they? Whereas something like, I mean, it's an MMO, it has to kind of do something different with it. But it was just like, the health bars and stuff kind of pulled me out of it.
So the thing I think is most exciting about this is that Ubisoft have kind of got they've got previous with the fact that they deliver on because I thought The Division, when it was announced, I was like, this game has been made for me. They have made a game that is specialised towards me.
Yeah.
And I did like it a lot, but what tends to happen with Ubisoft games is they kind of do that, don't quite deliver on the promise, and then they make up for it with the second game. Thinking of Watch Dogs 2, Assassin's Creed 2, and that excites me. It excites me that they had enough ideas for a Division 2 to make a Division 2, rather than just make more DLC. They've had enough ideas to actually make a full. Because I think last week or the week before, I actually said about Ubisoft at E3, well, they won't make Division 2, and they literally are. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, they've said more info at E3. I think there's a chance that game could be out this year, if certainly this financial year.
Do you think they're going to go games as a service with this one?
I think they did that with the first one. They just didn't quite.
Yeah,
they sort of were a bit late to it. Like Ubisoft are definitely doing that. Siege, Ghost Recon. They tried it with. They are. They're definitely trying to go that way. Fortnite Battle Royale is heading to mobile devices very soon, which is going to be cross-play with PS4 and PC. On top of that, they have now announced as well that they are working on a very quick thing that they're going to be bringing cross-play between Xbox and PC, including, I think, cross-save, I think it said as well. So the development of Fortnite is absolutely insane. The rapidity at which they are developing that game is nuts.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this mobile version, I'm guessing, it's the full game then. It must be if it's going to be cross-play.
That's crazy if they put the full game on it.
It's mad, but sort of fucking cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, Although the aiming thing's going to worry me, because, I mean, try to play that kind of fast-paced game on a screen.
Yeah, but surely this has got to be aimed at those. And I've got one of these. We got sent one. I forget what they're called, but the thing where it's a controller with a shell that you literally pop your that's to me, that's amazing. If you've got one of those things that works where you literally plug a controller into your that's so cool.
I'd be interested to see how this goes.
Very much so. Speaking of the battle royale, though, Gaz, talk to us about PUBG.
You've got finally sort of released the roadmaps for both the PC and the Xbox versions. Most of it's like fixes and stuff like that, as you'd expect, and we're adding this, that, and the other. But yeah, there's 2 new maps coming to the PC version this year, which I don't think anyone expected 2. They always wanted 1, but apparently one's going to be a smaller one, so it's going to encourage shorter games. A little bit more like pushing people together. And the other one's going to be like another large size one. I think just the fact that there's new maps is quite nice because, well, you can only do so much for so long in the 2 maps that are already there. And if they keep just giving you content, that's quite nice. But the other map from the PC version, Miramar, is coming to Xbox as well this spring. So that'll be interesting to see. That I think because the Xbox One, I think that does need the extra map.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm going to be interested to see which version of the map we'll get, because like the PC version has been changed, adding more stuff to it. Whether we're going to get that version or kind of the original one, and they'll just mod that over time, I don't know. But yeah, quite happy to finally find out that they are bringing new stuff to it, because it's gone a bit quiet on that front. And
it's weird, right? Because having been so hyped and excited about the Xbox getting it, I feel like it did get it, and then everyone kind of just went, eh.
Yeah, it's like loads of people bought it, played it a bit, but then it's just gone silent. You know, and everyone's now playing Fortnite.
Yeah, like, has Fortnite taken over this?
Yeah,
I think it has, actually.
Yeah, it's now like the biggest watched and played game on Twitch, I think it is.
Wow.
You know, like today, my kids were watching a guy called Ninja, who I know is a big name in it, and he was like just an obscene amount of people watching him live, you know?
It's really taken off. Like, I never expected that. I don't think anyone did. But it's kind of like, it blew up like the way PUBG did when that started getting popular. But then it's gone even further. You know, like there's more concurrent players and and stuff like that. It's just, it doesn't
it's
seem...
free. That helps.
Yeah, that helps. But I think it does help that they are constantly throwing stuff at it. You know,
that game's non-stop, like constantly evolving.
Yeah, I think that's possibly something that they can learn from with PUBG, and even with H1Z1 as well. You know, try new things instead of just going, no, you just play this one map, just keep doing that. You know, I think it'd be quite nice to see more timed events, that kind of thing.
We mentioned about how like it went a bit silent after it came out, and something else that has gone silent for a while now is Days Gone, and now we know why. It's because that game has been delayed into 2019, but we also now know that is purely financial. Apparently the game had hit all the development milestones along the way. Not a huge amount to say. I'm a little bit disappointed because I kind of want to play this game, actually. I really like the look of this thing.
Yeah, I'm the exact same. But with it being so quiet, I knew that this was going to come. I knew that they were going to just... Like, and if I'm honest, look, there's plenty coming out this year.
Yeah.
Do you know there is? There's plenty coming out this year. I just think Days Gone, I think it's going to be a surprise. I actually, because that last bit of gameplay that was ever released for it, I was fucking sold. I was like, that looks really, really cool and really intense, and it seems to have a really cool story. So I think when we all saw that, we all just kind of went, oh, Days Gone is actually after piquing my interest. And it was just, look, it's delayed till 2019. I hope it's not like October 2019, because that would be, like, I hope it's... Mid at least.
Is it not kind of? Isn't there a danger now though of Sony are going to have that and most likely Last of Us 2 next year? They're two very similar kind of aesthetics. They're both post-apocalyptic
kind
of
things. Sony's thing. This is what they do.
Yeah,
that is very much Sony's aesthetic in terms of they make third-person dark, sort of third-person gritty adventures. I think.
Yeah, there is a very Last of Us feel to Days Gone.
Would you remember the Last of Us 2 trailer when people thought it was Days Gone for a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited though, but yeah.
Definitely be interested to see it though. Yeah.
I was thinking with Sony, Eurogamer, this comes via Digital Foundry, basically spoke to Bluepoint Games, and they kind of inadvertently confirmed that they're making another remake, because Digital Foundry asked them if the technology powering the latest release, Shadow of the Colossus, whether the expanded art team brought on for the project would be deployed next or on an original game, and they said, well, we could, but we're doing another remake. That was from Marco Thrush, Bluepoint's president and co-owner. It's got to be Eco, isn't it?
It has to be.
But
it just has to be.
The thing is, though, they did say it's bigger in scale, which makes me think that can't be Eco, because that was a much more kind of linear game,
but also will need more remaking.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing that I know everyone's going to come out with is the remaking Demon's Souls, which is what they kept saying.
I had not even thought of that.
Well, that's the thing, that before, I think it was before they announced Shadow of the Colossus, there was they were working on a remake or something like that, or they were working on something new, and everyone's just like, it's got to be a remake of the Demon's Souls. It's like, let it go. Demon's Souls Demon's Souls wasn't that good. Dark Souls was so much better, and the rest of the series, even though I don't like Bloodborne was better. And it's like, just stop trying to make that one happen. It's let it go. Let it die like it should.
Well, speaking of things that should probably die like they should, the last bit of news before we get into the biggest bit of news. Oh, God. So, guys, have you heard of the game Inside by Playdead?
Oh, yeah, funnily enough, yes.
Cool. Have you heard of a company called Real Doll?
Yeah, it's one of those, we don't want to admit it, but yeah, we've all heard of it, haven't we?
Adam, do you care to admit?
I actually haven't.
Sure.
Look, I knew it. I fucking knew it. Sure. I genuinely have never heard of Real Doll.
Okay. Real Doll make sex toy. Well, sex doll. They make sexy stuff.
They make sexy stuff?
Yeah, they make. I can't think of the phrase to really sum this up.
But surely it's not stuff. It can't be stuff that you personally find sexy, is it?
No, it's like they make real dolls.
That's
they make.
Yeah, it's like life-size sex dolls, basically.
Dolls sexy, Adam Cook.
I can't define that. I can't. Not on a podcast. They make life-size, realistic, in inverted commas, looking sex dolls. I Am 8-Bit. Make these sort of collector's editions. They're doing. Oh, fucking hell. Right, so I'm just going to read the quote. I Am 8-Bit, Playdead, and Real Doll are collaborating on a mysterious collector's edition for Inside. We will not tell you what it is. Maybe it's what you're thinking, maybe not. We can confirm that there are several items included, one of which is a PlayStation 4 game disc. The rest is up for speculation. The special edition will ship when it's done, say IGN, with customers advised not to order if the vague nature of the shipping date will make them anxious. The contents will be revealed once it ships, which is estimated to be Q1 of 2019. The pre-orders have gone live, and you can order yourself via I Am 8-Bit $375.
I bet you've ordered two of them.
I wouldn't order them even if it. Well, I don't know. I mean, are they saying that the PS4 disc is fuckable? I don't know what this. This can only be one thing to my mind.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Have you both finished Inside?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the question I have for you is,
Christ, it can't be.
Is if the thing they are making is a sort of fleshy thing that at the end of the game, right? Which I think it is. I think it must be.
It's
right?
got to be. It's got to be.
So The question I have is it fuckable?
I knew you were going to go there, but
you kind of have to.
It can't be. I think it's just got to be that, like, I don't know, maybe they've gone to these guys to get, I know, the material, but you wouldn't want to touch it just in case.
Why them? Why not? There must be someone else that doesn't make sex dolls that can make a fleshy thing.
Maybe these are just like the cheapest way of doing it. I don't know.
But they're not, though. If you do some research and you'll find out these real dolls are not cheap.
Maybe it's just
and $375 is not a cheap limit. Video games, man.
There's just
I don't know. They're gonna make some very interesting unboxing videos anyway.
Oh God!
I'll tell you that much.
I mean, listen. Don't get me wrong. If they're after some free press, I'm intrigued, but I don't want it for the reasons some. I mean, if you
stop! Like,
I want to open. I want to know what this is. I mean, I think I know. Like I say, my only question is what if you lift it up? If under.
Oh Jesus Christ! Almighty!
What are they playing at?
He's going for it.
I said I'd had 3 points.
Maybe you will be going for it if he unboxes one of these.
To go from this piece of news into the next.
Which is exactly why I put them like that. Because going from presumably a shaggable real doll inside to, and I wrote down God bless Nintendo for their directs on a slow news week. That's just not true. But Nintendo Direct happened last week as you're listening, and I think more eventful than we expected.
Yeah.
We should just blast through some of this quickly.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion is coming to 3DS.
That's annoying. It should be coming to Switch.
It should.
I agree.
WarioWare Gold is coming to 3DS. Adam, if you could, again, please.
That's annoying. That should be coming to Switch.
Mm-hmm. Listen, there's 70 million 3DSs out there or whatever. I get why they're making games for that thing.
Yeah.
But to move towards the Switch stuff, Crash Bandicoot is coming to Switch and Xbox One, but obviously Nintendo didn't reveal that. But Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy is coming to Switch. First time for Crash, a PlayStation exclusive. It's going to be on Nintendo.
Wait, was it not on GameCube? Not the originals, but when they started doing like Twin Sanity and stuff like that.
Oh, it actually was. Yeah, one of them was.
Then Nintendo have lied to me, and I don't know what's up or down anymore. Red is blue.
I suppose technically it's the first time these games have been on anything other than Sony, so maybe that was the intent, and it's just worded badly.
Dark Souls, we know, is going to Switch, and they're making a fucking amiibo because, of course, they are, because they know.
Even I want this one,
like
though. I don't even care about amiibos. I only have one, and that's because it came with the.
Gary, that's how they get you, mate. I didn't care about them.
See,
I didn't care about them once, and then Nintendo sent a press pack that had like 5 Animal Crossing ones in, and that was me done. And it was it. Once I had KK Slider, I was finished. That's just don't buy it. Also, don't buy it because apparently it's going to be quite hard to get hold of. I think in America it's limited to one store. I think it might be GameStop. I don't know about over here. We did get a press release. It didn't say any of that.
Right.
If I don't get this amiibo, I'm going to be unbearable, quite honestly.
Yeah, I really want it. I really want to.
No, don't buy it, please, because I need the stock. In fact, if you buy 2 just in case.
Okay.
See, can we just touch on Dark Souls just for a moment? Just because am I the only one that's disappointed that it's exactly the same game?
Well, they haven't actually said that, have they?
But they showed stuff, didn't they, for this Direct? And
what did you expect? I would ask. What do you fucking want, mate? A counter offer is what is it that you were thinking it would be?
Because this has been kind of rumoured for a while that they'd do a remaster or something like this, and it's kind of like I thought they'd do it like a bit of a remake, kind of like the Shadow of the Colossus, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I just feel like it's just like everyone's played Dark Souls, well, not everyone, but most people play Dark Souls to death, and it's like, do you really want to just play the exact same version just because it's 4K?
On PS4 and Xbox One, it will be 4K as you say, and 60 frames probably.
And it's just like,
I bet the Switch version is identical to the 360 version.
Yeah, I mean, they've said that one's going to be 30 frames per second. Whether Blighttown will, I don't know. But yeah, I'd be worried if it didn't, though, considering it's an old game now.
Well, speaking of games,
up.
Little Nightmares, that's another Bandai Namco game that's coming to Switch, and South Park: The Fractured But Whole. The funniest thing about that for me was how the announcer pronounced the game. He said it in a way that is the only way you could distance butt and hole. So most people say the fractured butthole, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
He said the fractured but whole. It was beautifully done in a way to deflect from the fact they've got a very dirty game on their system. So there's two more ports. Neither are surprising, really. I think. Captain Toad is coming to Switch. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, the Wii U game, is coming to Switch. That is going to have some stuff from Mario Odyssey.
It's a fun little game.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's just get this out of the way right now. Smash Brothers is also coming to Switch, and the reason I want to get it out of the way is because I'm trying to think with Donkey Kong coming as well in the next couple of months. Mario Tennis Aces getting sort of remade for the Switch. Is the only Switch exclusive that hasn't come... Sorry, only Wii U exclusive that hasn't been announced for Switch. Wonderful 101 and obviously the Mario games, Is that literally it now?
I think...
They're not going to bring Splatoon because it is Splatoon 2, which felt like a one repackaged anyway. Mario Kart, Donkey Kong...
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
they have kind of, and nobody seems to mind. That's the weird thing.
No, I want Mario Maker. Give me Mario Maker.
How did I forget that?
Well, you said the Mario games, so I just assumed you were talking.
I'm going to be honest. No, I wasn't. I was thinking of New Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario 3D. I'm disgusted with myself. I'm sorry.
No, I want that definitely. But
are any of you Smash fans?
I'm not exactly not a fan. I'm just kind of not bothered by it.
I'm not really I'm not that good at it, and I like people playing.
No one's
I like
that good at
the competitive side. I think it's so much fun to watch. But I bought Brawl when it came out, and I have Melee on the GameCube, and yeah, they're cool, but not to the maybe this. With it being on the Switch, maybe it could be the start of me really loving the series.
Maybe.
They haven't actually said if it's a new one, though, have they?
No, they haven't.
It will be the Switch one with.
That's what I was thinking, because, I mean, the logo they showed was the logo that they had all over.
Can we talk about the logo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say with this one. Fire away.
I don't know if I want to say it because I worry it says something about my mind, but that logo is alarming, and the way it looms into view, I thought looked like a crucifix with fire burning behind it. And it's only when it pulls all the way out and you can see it's not quite a crucifix. I'm not sure that's the logo you want to use if you're going to put fire on it that.
We went in very different directions, didn't we? Because I was like, it reminded me of the Bloodborne moon, when it pans out behind the Inkling girl and stuff. It's like, that's like... But you mentioned that, I was like, oh.
Do you see it, though?
A little bit. I must say, only one she'd mentioned it, though, which means that anyone listening is now not going to see it any other way. Sorry
Do you see it, Ad?
Yeah, I definitely did. But I just want to actually talk about that reveal. I really liked this.
Oh, the reveal was great. I thought
it was really fucking... Because it went so dark.
I don't think... I mean, they say it was it's the Smash Bros. Logo. I'm pretty certain it was a 4 because the last one was the 4th game.
It didn't have fire behind it before, right?
Oh, no, it didn't. No, it was just a circle kind of with the
I do remember seeing it in Brawl for the first time, but I noticed it in Brawl. I'm going to actually check this up now just to see.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves, lads.
Well, we can also, I haven't mentioned it, the one thing I genuinely am really happy to see is Splatoon single player DLC. That looks great. Because I did enjoy Splatoon an awful lot. Splatoon 2, sorry, an awful lot, but I fell off it again because I just didn't like the way the online worked. It never felt right. So getting some single player DLC, I'm hyped for. Even if it seems a bit pricey at £20, but yeah.
So I'm just looking here at the Melee cover, and in Bros it has the O as the logo.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I definitely
So
saw that logo before, but certainly didn't have the burning flames, and it really kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
If they literally, I can actually totally see what you're saying, because if they took off the right side, the longer part, it just shaded off a bit of that, then you'd have a cross upside down.
Yep. It just made me think of all those awful people and do all those awful things, like play Smash Brothers and say it's a good game and that the competitive fighting scene's amazing for it. I'm joking. Don't. Oh, fucking hell, I might have to
You've done it. You've done it now. That's what the drink does.
Yeah. Well, I never said what I was drinking. I just said it was 3 pints.
Jesus.
It was vodka. Is that it? Was there anything else notable? I mean, they went on about Mario Tennis quite a lot. There
was a notable lack of Animal Crossing. I should add that
they're saving it for Tom Nook to be in Smash. I guess.
To be fair, I mean they've done all this.
I'm really up for that.
Yeah, they've done all this, and it's like you've got to wonder what they're going to have for E3 now. You know, because obviously they must be hold. Yeah, I mean it's like they've obviously held some stuff back. Yeah, I would have thought they're going to show that. I wonder if it's too early for the Pokemon game.
No, I think that's perfect timing. But the other thing I was going to say, speaking of games beginning with P, is that Pikmin. Have I imagined it, or there is a Pikmin game in development, and they said they would bring Pikmin 3 to Switch as well at some point? Did I imagine that?
I think you've imagined that.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
I'm not sure on that one.
I've been having weird dreams recently. It might be.
It's all that fucking boozing you're doing.
I don't drink off them, mate.
Oh, fucking real dolls.
Yeah. Oh, now. As a big Nintendo enthusiast, happy with this direct?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Like, I think it's a lot. It was a lot of stuff announced. Like, Crash on Switch and stuff like that. I'm not going to get it. I played Crash when it came out for the PS4. Maybe if I didn't get a PS4, I'd be a lot more excited about it. Like, I'm still the Dark Souls amiibo. Yes, brilliant. Splatoon single player DLC. Yeah. Captain Toad is great. Smash Bros. It's all good. It's all like
you'd want to be ticking over, isn't it? It's keeping it ticking over.
It's keeping it ticking over. Yeah, you'd want to be a right old prick now to be giving out about like Nintendo.
It's easy for to kind of go, that it's all it's all ports and stuff like that, but it's like, it's new stuff. I mean.
But a lot of people played those ports.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff like Captain Toad, nobody played it because it came out at a point when the Wii U.
That. I think maybe.
But it's like that came out quite late in the Wii U's kind of cycle, so it's like by then nobody was playing it.
But it was cheap out. It was like I saw it'll be pretty affordable. Like I think for the Switch, but I will say out of this direct that this is definitely now the kind of first time where I went, okay, guys, the ports now you can calm down with it. You can.
Well, listen, this is what happens.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool, we get South Park and stuff, but it's
Wolfenstein
too
soon
early.
as well, isn't it?
What is?
Wolfenstein, isn't that soon on Switch?
Oh, I mean, that is coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're heading this way anyway, so listener correspondence. Chris Hyde asked for our Smash reveal reactions where we've kind of done that. And he also wants to know which revealed ported game Adam, and I'm going to guess he means me here, agrees that is perfect for Switch. Captain Toad. I think that is a game that is spot on for Switch. I do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say perfect because I'm a fucking stubborn old bastard. But I'm going to concede that Captain Toad is a great game, Eric, on Switch. But just in case he was asking Adam Carroll, what game would you think is perfect for Switch that was revealed? Which are the port games?
Well, one we haven't mentioned, and I actually haven't played it yet, but that's because I know the time of the game, how long it is, but I'd say Okami.
Oh God, I forgot about Okami. Yep, okay, because I mean that goes back to what you were saying about Persona and time. Do you know we didn't even mention Travis? No More Heroes. What's it called? No More Heroes. Travis Rides Again. Is it
something like that?
Oh Jesus!
I've always quite liked those games, but the trailer for that in this Nintendo Direct just told me nothing about what this game is actually going to be.
Yeah.
In other listener correspondence, this one is an interesting question. that I'm worried I don't quite understand. Darren, who writes in most weeks, thank you, Darren, at ROTMM, with the admittedly abhorrent-looking Super Seducer being blocked on PS4, is it another sign of double standards by gamers? Not only is ultra-violence welcomed, but there are creepy as fuck games like VR Dead or Alive that are promoted by console manufacturers. When I think of the phrase double standards by gamers, I think it depends, because I'm a gamer. I play games. That's what I do, and I don't know much about this game other than it looks fucking weird, and I'm not interested in it in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts?
It's a tough one, to be honest. I mean, I understand this point about the being, there is a bit of a double standard in that you can have as much violence as you want, but sexual content is pretty much like, no, can't do that. Which is, I mean, games have done it. There's been sex scenes and stuff in games and that, and a lot of the time people have just kind of passed, they haven't cared. It's passed people by, they've not talked about it. And it's like, I don't quite get that. I mean, I know it's quite easy. He obviously mentions Dead or Alive, which is, I suppose that's kind of the go-to one for, is it Extreme 3, was it?
Volleyball and all that.
Yeah.
Anime characters.
I have played, and it's genuinely fun. It's genuinely fun. I mean, to be fair, the Dead or Alive games have always had that massive boob girls, that kind of thing, and they had the boob physics, which were ridiculous.
Absolutely gutted that Chris isn't here for this conversation.
But I mean,
you'll love me for painting him in that light.
I mean, but it's like a friend of mine. She loved the first Extreme Volleyball on the original Xbox. She ended up getting the second one, and her and her husband got the third one, and they love it. And that's how I played it. I played it at theirs, and again, it's just like, it's a genuinely fun game, but it kind of gets a little bit overwritten by the fact that it's his boobs. There's boobs and bums all over the place.
I mean, that's Dead or Alive. Just that series generally
it basically
has been a good fighting game over the years, but it's like, it's the Bayonetta thing of I'm embarrassed to play it.
Because, yeah.
But
Dead or Alive is a different beast, though.
Yeah.
Like, that series weirds me out. Every release, I'm just like, all right, guys, there's like, you can tone it down. We get it. But
it's difficult because I sort of have to play a bit of devil's advocate on the podcast at times, and I've always been like, in terms of like comedy and stuff I watch, like, I've always been a little bit of the opinion that it's kind of all right or none of it's all right.
Yeah.
But that gets into muddy waters when you say things like, if you say things like, hey. When you say things like, I know all three of us and Chris obviously would agree on that, like, we have no concern, that we don't care, gay, straight, bisexual, anything out there that you might be or identify with, it's fine. But I feel like that's the thing you say, and then you almost have to go, oh, actually, but not child stuff, obviously, because if you just say the phrase love is love, and I feel at my heart when I say love is love, like, that's why I can never understand, I can never ever empathize with people who get angry about, say, two guys getting married, because love is love. That's the start and the end of it.
Yeah.
You don't get to pick who someone else falls in love with. You just fucking don't, and just fuck you if you think you have a right to that. But when you just say something like, love is love, like, I worry if you say that, then, like, do you know what I mean? People go, oh, but I'm in love with a child. I'm not even going to finish that sentence in case someone takes that out. You know what I mean? But you get what I mean? Like, there's a phrase that you should feel safe in saying, because what you mean by that is that it's none of my business for a start, and love is love. Like, you can't, it's a chemical fucking thing in your brain. You can't pick who and how it happens to.
Yeah.
And so I've always felt that it's kind of all okay or none of it's okay. So, like, Frankie Boyle is a comedian who has made a living by being offensive deliberately as his shtick. I don't happen to find him particularly funny, but I don't give a shit if he's out there doing it. So with this kind of thing, I guess I look at it and go, See, this has passed me by, if I'm honest with you. I saw, a friend of the site, Colin Mahern, him and Alice did like a Let's Play of this on Video Gamer, and I had a quick look at that, and that's the first I'd seen of this game, and it just looked like a crap game. So it's kind of, aside that, it's passed me by. So if you guys can fill in the blanks.
I mean, I'll be honest, I've only seen kind of shots of it, and it looks like another one of these kind of FMV story-driven kind of things. You're making your like conversation choices, and it branches out and things like that. But I don't quite get what the game is.
I mean, I guess in the terms of the question, is it another sign of double standards by gamers? I guess I have a bit of a difficulty with that, because looping everyone into this thing of gamers, like it's a convenient thing to do, but at the same time, it reminds. I think the trouble isn't gamers; the trouble is people.
Yeah, I think. It's kind of like this. It's the censorship. It's the. I don't know. It's like, because I think maybe he's not worded it entirely right. Maybe he didn't mean gamers, but he meant like game studios. Like publishers, that kind of things. Like Sony don't want this game on their system.
But then, Gaz, like, the reason we shut down comments on God is a Geek on the main website is because it was a simple one. We had an internal discussion about it, and we decided that Gary, you can sit there if you want, and you can call me every name under the sun. You can say things that are hurtful and horrible, right?
Okay, give me a minute.
But if you come in my house and do it, you fucking believe I'm throwing you out.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that here in my house.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of that thing, and I guess that's what Sony are doing, that it is a bit of a double standards, that they're okay with DOA, the boobs. But
so,
also, I guess it's also up to them.
Yeah. I suppose, we've not played the game. There could be some stuff in there which is quite questionable.
Also, we don't know why it was banned or blocked.
Yeah, it could, to be fair, they could have just gone, no, this game's shit, you're not putting it on our console.
In fact, I'm tempted to cut this whole discussion because I have no idea why it was even blocked, and perhaps this is a completely unnecessary conversation to have. I don't know. I guess we'll find out if this stays in or not. Yeah. But that's a podcast for this week, I suppose. You can keep up with all things God is a Geek by just going to godisageek.com. If you want to find out any of our social media stuff, then again, just type God is a Geek into Google, and followed by, they're all obvious, to be honest with you. Twitter is God is a Geek, Facebook is God is a Geek, Instagram is God is a Geek. It's, you could guess most of them. But the most important thing, however, is that you don't keep us a little secret. Write a review of the podcast on iTunes, just a quick one saying, we love you, you're great, and, we know you don't even mean it. You don't even have to mean it. But the more people that do that, the more visible the podcast becomes to new listeners, and that means you get to share your love of the podcast, even if secretly you only think it's a 4-star. But you get to share that secret 4-star love as a 5-star love with lots of different people. That's a convoluted way of saying review us. Please do it.
Fair play.
Yep. I said I'd had 3 pints. Nearly said 4. I don't even know anymore. My name is @GBSF on Twitter. Adam Zokes is Adam Carroll is Adam Zokes. It's falling apart. I'm not going to lie. The facade's slipping. It's the end of the podcast. Gary is @BlueFury47. Chris, who had to leave us early, unfortunately, is @FirstAvenger83. Of course, again, @God is a Geek. Hit up our YouTube channel. I've changed all the thumbnails on there. They're rather sexy and exciting. I hope people like them. If not, I've just said I've done it, which means you can shout at me. Don't shout at me. Don't shout at me, please. We do like to say thank you very much. If you are interested in a longer podcast with a little bit more. We talk about music, we talk about movies, some comic book stuff, all sorts of stuff that isn't gaming related. Although this week we did talk about some Far Cry 5 stuff. Patreon.com/GodIsAGeek. For $1 a month, you will get every podcast, which is a weekly occurrence. Obviously, as you know, you'll get it early and extended. And you'll get lots of other stuff too, early access to videos. Generally you get to help influence the coverage we provide on games, and we like to provide that to you guys. That's it for this week. That's enough plugging done. Adam, Gary, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You two all right still?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay. We're just.
I think we're all still reeling from the whole inside thing. That's just going to stick with us forever.
Yeah, I just put my pre-order down.
Well, look, there's a disgusting joke or pun I could end on, and people might expect that from Adam Cook, but he's not going to deliver. He's just going to say, thanks for listening to the podcast. We'll catch you next week or whenever you choose to listen. Bye-bye for now.